Welcome to At Ease with Cooking. I'm Bonnie Kerschke, your host. This evening we have a very special program for you. Our guest demonstrator is Benna Patel, and she will be preparing some delicious traditional East Indian recipes for you on our program titled Cuisine of India. And Benna's going to begin by preparing her recipe for vegetable curry rice. Hi, Benna.
Hi.
It's so great to have you with us here this evening to cook this wonderful Indian meal for us. Perhaps you would tell us what actually an Indian meal consists of.
Normally our meal consists of two vegetables. One would be dry, one would be with gravy. And if you're non-vegetarian, normally there's one meat dish like chicken or fish, and then rice and a relish that goes with yogurt, and our Indian bread, which we call chapatis or rotis. It's similar to the Mexican tortillas. It's made out of whole wheat flour.
Oh, really? Now that's great. Now you mentioned vegetarian. Are a lot of Indians vegetarians?
Yes, they are. Some of them are vegetarians because of religion that they follow. Some are out of preferences.
Yes.
But you do find a lot of vegetarians in India.
So you would eat a lot of grains and beans and
lentils
things like
and
that.
beans, right.
Wonderful. Well, you have got some terrific looking spices here. Perhaps you could tell us a little bit about this just before we get started.
Yes, we have some cumin and coriander powder. That's blended or crushed cumin seeds and coriander. They roast it and then they blend it. And then we have curry powder. That's a mixture of cloves and cinnamon and black pepper, cumin and coriander. It varies. The curry powder do vary from state to state in India. And then our basic ingredients throughout India is turmeric, chili powder, salt and sugar. And then these are all our dry ingredients that we use in tempering, like the fresh dry cumin seeds, mustard seeds, fenugreek that we use in our lentils, and then cloves we give for flavoring, and then this is ajwain. I don't have an English word for that.
Okay.
But it's close to caraway seeds. The flavor is really close to the caraway seed. And then these are the sesame seeds. Some of the recipes call for sesame seeds.
And these are actually the containers that you keep your spices in?
Basically, in every Indian kitchen, you'll see these containers.
With the little spoons, which is, what a clever way of containing your spices. This is great. How are we going to go about making this recipe for the rice then?
Today we'll start off with, this is a purified butter, we call it ghee. And most of the rice and the vegetable and meat dishes takes the ghee. But now with times, we do use vegetable oil too, to cut down on calories.
Sure.
But today we are going to go real traditional. We're going to use ghee instead of butter and oil.
Now, and ghee for
tempering.
Some might recognize it if we called it clarified butter. It's something they can do right in their own kitchen just to cook it off so the whey separates out.
But it's not necessary. If you don't have the ghee, you can use vegetable oil instead, or just like a teaspoon of butter should be fine.
Would be fine. Okay, wonderful.
Should we get started?
Yes, let's.
Okay. We're going to make some vegetable masala rice today. We start off with 2 teaspoons of ghee, purified butter. We let it heat a little bit. Just to be warm. Then we put our, I'm going to, normally you can use a spoon too, but I normally take a handful. It has to be cumin seeds, 1 teaspoon of cumin seeds.
And you heat
this little spoon is a measurement of 1 teaspoon. Two little spoons are 1 little
teaspoon.
1 teaspoon, right, okay. And then you put some whole cloves, about 6 to 7.
Now, what do you call this when you put
This is called tempering.
Tempering, okay.
Yeah. And then you put 4 to 5 cardamom pods. This has a nice fragrance to it. It will add.
And you kind of broke them open, didn't you?
Yes. So it enhances the rice with the seeds, the flavor. It has little black seeds.
Black seed in there, yes.
And then you put some cinnamon sticks, about 4 to 5. I have some small ones. Sorry about that. And Then you put some bay leaves, 3 to 4, and you crumple them up.
Okay.
And these are
Ooh, it's
these
starting
are our
to really
Indian.
smell
These
good.
are our Indian curry leaves. This is another fragrance.
Oh.
You find them at the Indian stores.
At the Indian stores. Now, there are a couple in the metropolitan area, aren't there?
Yes, they are. And then you add 1 chopped onion.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Which you saute the onion for on medium-high for about 3-4 minutes.
Oh, it smells so good.
Till it turns brown.
Yeah, and I want to mention that we'll put the name and address of a couple of the Indian stores in the metropolitan area on our recipes, which will give you an address that you can send for at the end of the show, so that if you're interested in getting some of the more Indian type spices, that you can go to one of those stores.
Yes, they carry everything in the stores. You saute the onions for like 3 to 5 minutes.
Okay. Sometimes we have to hurry things
Yeah,
along
I know
a
that.
little bit.
Then we add the vegetables. These are mixed frozen vegetables, which I thawed.
Okay. And that's about
A cup
About a
of
cup of
frozen
it? Okay.
vegetables.
well, it isn't
Saute that for a minute or
not
two.
very hard, but it is smelling wonderful.
Yeah, it's the bay leaf and the curry leaf. And the cinnamon sticks, when you temper them, it enhances, the flavor comes out.
Now, if you didn't have the fresh curry leaf, would you substitute something else in its place?
Yes,
or
the
just
bay leaf is fine, and you do get the dry curry leaves too at the Indian
Oh,
stores.
you can?
Yes.
Okay.
Then you add, making 2 cups of rice. So this is pre-washed Indian basmati rice. It's a long grain rice.
Basmati rice, okay.
You pre-wash it with cold water.
And how long do you have to do that for? Just
You just kind of
rinse it?
rinse the rice off
Rinse
with
it.
cold water.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, you had a couple of cloves in there too, didn't you?
Yes, to preserve the rice from not getting the bugs.
Oh!
So normally all the Indian households store like 20 pounds of rice because we eat rice practically every day. So we don't buy 2 or 3 pounds.
Yes, you would buy.
Right. And
And
then we store it in an airtight container and we put whole cloves in it so we don't get the grain bugs in it.
Oh, that's a great tip.
Yes.
Great
And then to 2 cups of rice, we add 4 cups of water. And at this point, we can high the temperature to high. And then we're going to add our seasoning here. Almost about 1.5 teaspoon of salt. So I'm going to put like 5 of this. Like I said, 2 little spoons is the measurement of. And then comes our curry powder. Like a teaspoon of curry powder.
It's going to be wonderful.
You just stir it. Then you bring this to a boil. Cover it, and then you bring this to a boil.
And
And then we lower the heat to real low and cook it for 10 to 15 minutes.
okay, so we're going
So
to
while this is cooking, we're going to go on to our next recipe.
the next recipe, which is the butter and cream chicken. Oh, this chicken recipe sounds like it's going to be marvelous, Benna. What are we going to do for this?
First, we're going to start. We'll start off with making the cream and butter sauce,
All right.
and then we'll proceed to marinating the chicken, and then we'll cook the chicken.
All right.
Okay, here we'll start with, again, instead of butter, I'm using our purified butter, which is called ghee.
Uh-huh.
A teaspoon of that in a heated pot. Put a little bit cumin seeds, and it's thoroughly heated. A spoon of chili powder. See, it lets the color come out when you put it in hot
yes.
oil or ghee.
Yes, it does.
a little bit curry powder and a little bit salt. Then you can use 3 chopped fresh tomatoes, or to make a quicker recipe, I'm using a small can of tomato sauce. Just pour that in there. And you cook this for about 10 minutes. After you put the sauce, you put like 2 spoons of sugar to break the sourness of the tomato. Teaspoon. Stir it. You cook this for 10 minutes. And then you add 3 to 4 tablespoons of fresh whipping cream.
Ooh.
That's why it's called makhani, means cream.
All
And
right.
butter is buttercream.
Buttercream, yes.
Malai means cream and makhani means butter. So, and stir this and cook this for about 5 to 10 minutes till it gets, the consistency gets thick. I've already pre-cooked some here, which you can see the change of color.
Yes, yes, you certainly can.
Yeah, so we're going to use this later on.
All right.
And now we'll proceed to marinate the chicken here.
Chicken, great.
I'm going to take this off the heat if you
All
want to
right,
help me with
certainly.
this, Bonnie. I'm going to let the other pot, and pass me the big pot, please.
Here's your nice little Dutch oven.
That's for the chicken. Okay.
Got a little tight fit there
That's
today.
fine. It's going to work. Now we'll proceed to marinate the chicken. This is chicken breasts. And
You just cut them up into
it's 15 ounces, 1 packet of chicken breast.
One
This is 2 tablespoons of lemon juice with the 1.5 teaspoons of salt. First you pour that on. I need a spoon here. Well, the salt has settled down.
Oh, yes.
But that's fine.
okay.
Okay, you just pour that, and then this is saffron.
Okay.
This is one of the, right.
With the most expensive
Oh,
spices
spices,
in the
right.
world. Yes. It's,
What I did is I took a couple of threads, I warmed it, and then I crumbled them, and I put a spoon of water and boil it for a minute or 2, so you get this orange color, the flavors come out.
This is the part of the crocus
Right,
flower.
flower,
It
the
all has
stigma.
to be, yes, has to be hand-picked, and so that's why it's so expensive.
It's
you
very
You have a fortune in this little box container here.
I have to thank my mom. She got it from Africa for me.
Oh.
Okay, then you let the saffron stand in this water, boiling water, for about 5 to 10 minutes to get the flavors and the color. You just drizzle it over the chicken, and you just set that aside. Take another bowl. In that you take 1 cup of plain yogurt.
Not any vanilla flavoring,
No,
just plain.
Just plain yogurt.
Can you use the lower fat or the non-fat, or should
Yes,
you?
this is non-fat. This is 1%.
Just
Yes.
1%, all right.
And then you take 3 to 4 cloves of garlic, blend it or crush it, which I've pre-done here.
Yes.
Put that in there. Ginger. It's ginger root.
Fresh
again.
ginger root. Oh,
Yeah,
that's wonderful.
About 2 inches in wide,
Yeah.
the paste should be. And then we go to our spices here. Salt. We don't want to put too much salt in here, like just for the flavoring of the yogurt, like half a teaspoon. Half a teaspoon of chili powder. 1 spoon, 1 to 1.5 spoon of coriander and cumin powder, and the curry powder 1 spoon, a little bit of turmeric, and then this is a tandoori paste. It's made of all the spices. You get this at the Indian specialty store. I normally put this to give that red color, so I put like half a spoon. This has some food coloring, so if you put a lot of it, it just gets too bright, and
Too
I
bright.
personally don't prefer that red color. You mix this. Okay, and then you put this chicken in there. We're done with this.
Okay, and then you marinate
You
that
marinate
for
this overnight.
overnight. Okay.
Overnight or 8 hours maximum to get all the flavors.
Oh, yes.
And which I have some here that I marinated at home and brought over.
Beautiful.
Now we'll start to cook. Cooking is real simple because this I picked boneless breast, so it cooks fast. But you can use this marination for drumsticks too, and then you bake it.
Oh,
Okay,
all right.
that's a variation. So you put 2 to 3 spoons of butter, or like I used the ghee, the purified butter. Put a few cumin seeds in there. See, they pop.
Oh, yes, you can.
Yeah, they have to pop, so it tells that the ghee or the butter is ready. And then you just put in the chicken.
A clever way to know when it's right, isn't it?
There you are. And you just kind of cook the chicken for 10 minutes to 15 minutes till it's tender. And on medium-high flame. And then you put it in the sauce, and the chicken's done in 15 minutes.
And what's nice is you can start that ahead of time, so when you're ready to cook, you've got your chicken already marinated. That's a great.
Actually, normally what I do is when I have 2 or 3 couples over for dinner, I cook this like if you're sitting down for dinner at 8 or expecting guests at 7, I start at 6:45, and by the time everybody arrives, it's just cooked then.
It's all cooked.
You don't really have to reheat it.
No. That's wonderful.
Cover it.
And cover that, all right.
While we're doing this. That's it.
And while that's cooking, Ben is going to show us how to make cucumber raita. Cucumber raita. Okay,
Got it.
I got it. Now, this uses yogurt, doesn't it?
Yes,
and,
it
and how
does.
when you make this up, how do you eat it? Do you use it as a condiment?
We use it as a condiment along with the rice because most of our food is spicy. So this kind of blends it and makes it a little milder.
Tones the heat down a little bit.
And it's cooling too.
Great. Okay, and this isn't really a very difficult recipe either,
No,
is it?
it's very simple. You take plain low-fat yogurt if you want, or regular yogurt, but it has to be plain yogurt. And you take a fresh cucumber, you cut the edges, which I already done, but I'll do it once again.
Oh, sure.
And you peel the cucumber. You wash it before you peel it.
Yes.
Which I already did. Sometimes I leave a little bit
That smells
green.
like almost like a garden cucumber. It smells so fresh.
And then you shred it with a shredder. You take the biggest shred.
And there we got to watch our fingers, don't we?
That's true.
Now, do you have to drain this or anything, or you just use it?
After you shred it, kind of squeeze all the water out. Otherwise, what will happen is if you don't squeeze the water out, the consistency of the raita would get watery. The water it will let the water go in the yogurt. It will get very runny. And you don't want it real runny.
No.
Okay, I'm going to kind of let the seeds go too. So here we have to use our hands.
Yeah, sometimes you just have to, don't you?
Yep. Okay. Definitely put that away for me. Thank you. And then, see, there's so much water.
Yes, there is a lot of liquid in there.
So you take
just
squeeze all the water out. And then you just...
Oh, sure.
And I can give a little hint here. Don't throw this water away.
All right.
Just leave it in the fridge, and on a hot summer day, this is special for the ladies. Use this as an estrogen. It would be cooling on your face.
Oh, astringent on your face? What a clever idea.
So When the winds my
Well, they're
hands, yeah.
Minnesota winters, though. You have to wait a long time for a hot day, don't you?
That's true, I agree with you. I've moved from Houston, Texas, so I used to do that very often down
Yeah,
there.
I bet that would be nice and cooling.
And then to this was 1 to 1.5 cup of yogurt. You add like 1 teaspoon of salt, cumin, half a spoon of cumin powder and coriander powder. And if you like the flavor of mustard, this is crushed mustard seeds.
Crushed mustard seeds.
Right. If you like a stronger flavor, you can put half a spoon more. I normally
right.
put like 1/3 spoon of, or half a spoon is good enough. And then you mix this. Okay. And always remember, the raita has to be chilled. It has to be cold and chilled. If it's warm, then you don't really enjoy that flavor of yogurt. That's good for all kind of yogurts. If it's not chilled, you don't really enjoy it.
All right.